Hello and welcome everyone. This is Professor Siddharth Surana, Chartered Accountant, as you can see under my name. Welcome to the first lecture of CA Intermediate, first lecture of the paper Taxation. Some of the students in this class are attending the first lecture of CA Inter. Before this, you have never attended any CA Intermediate lecture of any subject. Am I right? At least some students, first lecture. There are also some students who are waiting for their foundation result. So once the foundation results are out, then they will continue with the batch. As you are aware, their exams will be in November. And of course, we also have May 2022 students. So we have May 22 and November 22 both students. This is your first lecture of CA Intermediate. And of course, this is also your first lecture of taxation. Yes, even if you have attended other subjects, maybe accounts has started, or maybe advanced accounting, or any of the subjects, but tax, this is the first lecture. So we will start with an introduction. Am I clearly audible and visible to you? There is absolutely no disturbance. Means, is it about the sound or is it regarding the network? Now is it clear? Yes. See, I have got multiple Wi-Fi connections at my place. So if at any stage there is any network related trouble, immediately tell me. We will sort it out. No problem at all. Okay. Fantastic. So many students are interacting on chat also, audio also. So be participative, then only the class will be interesting for you. This being the first lecture, we will first stick to a little introduction. Can you see my screen? The things that I have written here? Very good. Let me start by introducing myself. I am Professor Siddharth Surana, by qualification a Chartered Accountant, and I am into teaching since 2010, middle of 2010. So it has been 11 and a half years of. I look very young and handsome, I know, but it has been 11 and a half years of teaching, and I became a CA in 2011. So I started teaching 1 year before I became a CA. I was studying for CA final. At the same time, I was teaching CA final students also. I had my own reasons to teach along with my exams. So 11 years of teaching and 10 years as a CA, more than 10 years. In fact, 10 and a half years of being a CA and 11 and a half years of being, in fact, this year in 2022, I will complete 12 years of teaching. Over the years, more than 25,000 qualified chartered accountants. I am not talking about the overall number of students. We all know what is the passing percentage in CA. I am talking about the students who have become CAs. I am talking about them. More than 25,000. So CA community is very small. We have got about 3 lakh CAs, somewhere around 3 lakh CAs in the country, out of which about 25,000 have been my students over the years. One thing we always ensure that as far as my subject is concerned, I want only an exemption and nothing else. Now, if you don't know what is the meaning of exemption, because these are still early days of chartered accountancy, you all have cleared CA foundation. Some students may be direct entry students also. Is there any direct entry student here, or all are foundation clear student? Okay, I can see one hand raised. Tamanna is a direct entry student, I can see. Sukana also is a direct entry student. Amisha, I can see. So you all may not have idea about what this thing called exemption is. So I will be discussing about that also. Of course, those students who have cleared foundation know what is an exemption. In my subject, we only and only aim for an exemption, nothing else. Every attempt of CA final, my students get more exemptions than any other class or faculty in the country. There is a reason behind it. As I go further, I'll tell you about it. So in 11 years of teaching, I have started so many things in CA coaching, which I was the one who started it, and then later on people followed what I did. To give you some examples, I am the first person in the country who started the concept of recorded class. We started recording lectures in 2013 in DVD. then we moved to pen drive. Then in today's present day circumstances, we also provide Google Drive, full course, crash course, etc. Multiple variants. I am the first one who started. We started in 2013. People did not know what is recorded class at that time, and now everybody else started following it. Second, I started taking lectures physically everywhere. I am from Mumbai, born and brought up in Mumbai, but I started visiting other places of the country. I started visiting Ahmedabad. I started visiting Kerala from 2018. First lecture in Kerala was in 2018. That is when I realized that the students of South have got difficulties as far as language is concerned. If I start talking to you in Hindi, you are not going to understand anything, which is why I started recording my lectures in two languages. I record lectures in Hindi-English mix for North Indian students and only exclusively English lecture students, English lecture for my South Indian students, because I visit Andhra Pradesh also, Kerala I am still regularly visiting for CA final physical lectures. So for this reason, I started recording lectures in English, and now since I started, other people started following that also. In fact, I'll tell you something, that since the time I have started coming to Kerala, I realized that students in Kerala are very happy if someone is talking to them in Malayalam. So I have started learning a lot of Malayalam also. In fact, Eniki Bhayangaram Manasalavam, something like that. But in due course, I will be introducing you to my funny Malayalam also. So don't worry about that. But as far as language is concerned, let me be very clear and honest. No matter which language is your background, you can be a North Indian, you can be a South Indian. I have got students from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. I have got students from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, every state of the country and every district. In fact, I have got students in the form of video lectures, even if physically I am traveling only to limited places. One thing I will be very clear about. You have to study tax in English. Tax, nahi, all subjects in fact, you have to study in English. You have to write your exam in English. When you become a qualified professional, you have to give your interviews in English, irrespective of which place of the world you are giving your interview. You may want to clear CA in India and shift to a Gulf country. You may want to clear CA in India and shift to any part of the country in India, outside India, wherever you go. Your interview will be in English only. And whatever professional work you will be doing, it has to be done in English. I agree, English is not a measurement of intelligence. It is only a language. But this is the language in which your exams have to be given, and that is why these lectures are going to be in English, in such English that everyone will understand. Even if you are a North Indian student, you have problems with the language English, but you will still understand what I am saying. Even if you are South Indian student, you understand only Malayalam, but whatever English I will speak, you will understand. Are you understanding the things that I am speaking right now? I am talking in English only now. Okay, so please make sure that you understand this. These are professional exams to be given in English, and thus we will keep the medium of lectures here English. Also, we have South Indian students. We have plenty of South Indian students joining the class. So without a doubt, we are going to keep it in English language only. Are we very, very clear about this also? Okay. This is, again, as I said, this is what I started, and then other people started following this thing. Then next thing I started taking was something called online live lecture. Are we taking an online live lecture in the COVID era where physical lectures, offline classroom lectures are not possible? Yes, we are doing it. But I took a first Facebook live. Even YouTube live was not activated at that time. Facebook live in 2017. Before me, no one had taken, and now of course everybody is taking online live lectures. So these are the things that I started. After this, I also started the concept of free amendment lectures on YouTube, free revision lectures on YouTube, MCQ lectures on YouTube. Whatever I have started in the coaching profession, people have followed. So you be assured of one thing: at the end of this batch, how many ever students continue, marks will depend on how much hard work you do along with me. I alone cannot do anything as far as marks are concerned. But one thing I can tell you, that if you follow my instructions sincerely and seriously, you will start loving the subject, liking the subject. Over the years, I have had so many students, in fact of CA final also, who are doing their articleship. For those who don't know what is articleship, I think you must be knowing it. But in case you don't know, after you clear any of the groups of CA intermediate, you have to work under a CA for 3 years to learn, to get practical experience about how CA offices work. That is called articleship, and there are multiple departments. The main two departments in CA firms are audit is one area where CAs work, which is also one of your subjects in intermediate as well as final. And the second core area of CA practice, in fact a bigger, I should not say more important actually, just because it is my subject. The truth is that it is equally as important as audit, the subject called taxation, one of the core areas. The moment you hear the word tax, the first person that will come to your mind will be a chartered accountant, because our illiterate, uneducated relatives, they don't know what is taxation, they don't know what is direct tax, they don't know what is indirect tax, they don't know how to compute your liability, they don't know anything. We have to do it for them. That is our role in the country, and we always say that CAs are partners in nation building. So I am going to make sure that you start loving the subject. I have had cases where students who are working in audit department in their office, after our batch completion, have requested their principal, we call the CA under whom you work is called your principal, have requested their principal, sir, please shift me to the taxation department of office. I have had such cases also. So marks, results, that's one thing, and falling in love with the subject is another thing. We will keep both as our target. We will make sure, this being a core area of your professional course, you have got no choice but to fall in love with this. When I will introduce the subject taxation in my point number 3, I will tell you more about how taxation is important in your career as a chartered accountant. Today's lecture majorly is going to be in the nature of introduction, but these things are important. It can be done only today. If we don't do it today, then if we start our chapter directly, you will not understand unless we do this introduction. Introduction about myself is the only thing which is not relevant for your exam. Everything else that I introduce, even if I introduce CA Inter for those students who are attending the first lecture, I know, I have been told that there are some students for whom this is the first lecture itself. So when I go further, all this is important, because without this, you will not be able to proceed further in the subject, and we are going to go very slowly and peacefully in such a manner that everybody understands everything. There should not be any language barrier. I know multiple languages. I know Hindi, English, Marathi is the language of my state, Maharashtra. I know Marwadi, which is my mother tongue, Rajasthani language. I know Gujarati. I have, as I told you, learned quite a few words in Malayalam. But language should not be a barrier. We should understand what we are talking to each other. So at any stage, at any point of time, if you feel that you have not understood what I have said, you can immediately raise your hand and tell me, or unmute yourself and tell me that, can you repeat the last line? I will immediately, if you tell me to repeat the explanation or anything, I will immediately. When I say repeat means, you can tell me to repeat the last 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes after the batch completion. Please don't tell me, sir, can you repeat from the first chapter again once? Hello? I hope you are understanding. If you don't understand anything, acha theek hai, chalo, more about this I will talk when I come to the manner of learning aspect. So about me, for now, this much is enough. वैसे, as and when we proceed further in the batch, I am going to continuously say good things about myself. That's a part and parcel of the batch. Whether you like it or you don't like it, I will be saying good things about myself. You should always say good things about yourself, because if you only don't say good things about yourself, then how will you make people say good things about yourself? So for now, that much is enough as far as myself is concerned, and the rest, as and when we proceed further in our syllabus, my work should speak for me instead of myself. So for now, we conclude the first thing about myself. Let's go to the introduction about CA Intermediate. Yes, I know some students have already attended some lectures of accounts, or maybe costing, or maybe financial management, maybe any other subject, because there are altogether 8 papers. And whoever started your CA Intermediate batch, maybe has already given you an introduction of what CA intermediate is, how many topics, how many papers, how is your subject divided. But as I already told you, there are some students who are attending CA inter lecture for the first time. The direct entry students are attending for the first time. The students who are waiting for their foundation results but want to start their intermediate studies, which is a sensible thing to do, because after this I am not going to have any batch for separate batch for November 22. One batch per year, not more than that. Not more than that. We don't have that much time. I have got immense workload as far as my CA final students is concerned. So for intermediate, there is going to be only one batch throughout the year. So there are students who are waiting for foundation results, but they have joined and they have got no idea about what is CA intermediate. So if you already know what I am saying, please be a little patient. Let me introduce what is CA intermediate. By the way, if it was a foundation classroom, I would have introduced what is CA also. What is CA? Why taking CA has been the best career decision that you have taken once you have taken commerce as your stream. Of course, you can go to science, become a doctor or engineer. You can go to arts, become an artist or a singer or a dancer. If you, hello, what was the last thing you heard from me before the network issue? Once you have selected commerce as your stream, taking the CA course has been your best decision. This you will not realize when you are studying for intermediate. You are going to regret your choice of course when you will be in CA final, because life is going to be very difficult when you are in CA final. Very difficult. I'll tell you in advance. I'm not trying to scare you. I'll tell you why I'm saying this. But once you clear this thing called a CA, once you have these two alphabets in front of your name, the two alphabets of trust, CA, your name has been given by your parents. What is your contribution? This professional degree. Is there any problem in the video? No? Clear, no? But you are able to hear me, no? I am not writing anything. As of now, I am only speaking. Okay? This is the best decision because I am not saying this. The Prime Minister of the country said it. Prime Minister said it. The signature of a chartered accountant is more powerful than that of the Prime Minister. He himself said it. We can certify things which no one else can. You all have studied little bit accounts, even irrespective of what background you are from, in foundation or those who are direct entry while doing graduation. You all have studied little accounts, profit and loss account, balance sheet, assets, liabilities. Yes? The accountant is going to make those accounts, whether the things written in the account are correct or no. Who will decide? Who has that power? You, the chartered accountant. The moment you give your signature on any piece of paper, that means whatever is written on that paper becomes right. You decide whether it is right or wrong. And this power even the Prime Minister does not have. He himself said it. It's a beautiful decision, but it's a difficult thing. See, the amount of love, respect, money, everything that you will get after becoming a CA. You don't get that by doing easy things. You get that only when you do difficult things. It's a very difficult course. Intermediate is okay. This you will, foundation you cleared. Intermediate also you will clear very easily. If you have little caliber also, clearing CA inter is not going to be difficult. The real challenge will come. The real challenge will come when you are in CA final. The reason, one, immediately after clearing CA intermediate, you will be having your articleship, even if you clear one of the groups. So you have to work under a CA from 10 to 7. Generally, that is going to be your timing. For some students whose graduation is not over, so simultaneously you are also studying for your BCom. If you are pursuing graduation simultaneously, whichever field you are pursuing, BCom or banking and finance or BB, whatever, there are multiple options available in that also. and plus you have to simultaneously also start your studies of CA final. So your day will start at 7 o'clock in the morning and maybe go up to 9, 10, maybe sometimes during peak season, even beyond that. Life is going to be very difficult physically and mentally. But please understand that the financial investment in CA course is nothing. You can laugh at this. You can laugh. CA is in terms of financial investment, the cheapest course, the cheapest professional course of the country. If you don't believe me, try finding out the fees of some of the medical colleges, engineering colleges, MBA colleges. Try to find out the fees that is paid for that. If I have to give you an example, I am a chartered accountant. My brother is a civil engineer. You understand, no? Civil engineer, carpenter, civil engineer. He studied civil engineering from VIT University. VIT is in Tamil Nadu. So it has one campus in Vellore and another campus in Chennai. 4 years of engineering, 20 lakh rupees. How much? 20 lakh rupees for clearing engineering, 4 years. And after doing engineering, he did MBA. All engineers have to do masters and most of them go for MBA. This much general knowledge you have, no? He did MBA from a college called ISB, Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. Hyderabad, Indian School of Business, you've heard the name? 1 year MBA course, 1 year MBA, 43 lakh rupees is the MBA fees. 1 year course, 43 lakh. So 20 lakh for engineering and 43 lakh for MBA, 63 lakh rupees spent in education. That's my brother. I am a CA. If I start counting the amount that I spent from, in our time, there was something called CPT. There were multiple changes actually. We started studying for CA Foundation. CA Institute changed the course. We were the first students in the history of ICAI to give that exam called CPT. Now again they changed the course. They have moved to Foundation again. So we started studying for Foundation. Then we moved to CPT. From my Foundation registration with ICAI, we have to do course registration, no, every time. Register for Foundation, register for Inter, register for Final. Then we have to pay exam fees. And in CA, coaching classes is the main expenditure that has to be incurred. CA course cannot be, let me be clear, let people say whatever they want to, you cannot do CA without coaching unless and until you have someone who is there to properly guide and mentor you. It is not possible and you need it subject wise. You need one mentor for every subject because it is a course with expertise. A person with taxation expertise may not be able to mentor you. He can probably tell you concepts. I know costing concepts, financial management concepts because I am a chartered accountant. But mentoring for exam, how many questions you have to do, which book you have to prefer, you should ask that question to the teacher of every subject. CA course cannot be done without coaching. So that is the primary expenditure. If I count my expenditure from foundation to final, that is institute registration, exam fees, coaching classes fees. If I include my stationery expenditure also, stationery, pen, pencil, eraser, all the notebooks that I purchased for practice, the total amount spent in my time, of course, 10 years ago was 1,10,000 total amount 1,10,000. So 63 lakh compare with 1,10,000 and I'll tell you what, within 3 months of becoming CA, within how much time? Are you able to listen to me, understand what I'm saying? Within 3 months of becoming a CA, I earned that money back. I earned it. Within 3 months, I earned it. And I am not counting the stipend that I got while doing my articleship. When you will do your articleship, no, working under a CA for practical experience, every month you will be paid. You can call it salary if you want. But that's not salary. That's like your fees for participating in his office. So, see how good the professional community is. He is teaching you practical work also, plus he is paying you for that also. You know what happens for some doctor stream, especially I have seen a doctor who is practicing homeopathy. He keeps students under him, students who are learning homeopathy, to work in his office and they have to pay him because I am teaching you office work. So, you have to work also and you have to pay him also. But in CA, under the CA whom you will work, you will be getting paid for doing that work. That is called stipend. I am not counting my stipend money. If I count my 3 years stipend money, by the time I became a CA, all the cost of becoming CA was recovered. And since then, every rupee I earned was extra since so many years. And I had to started, as I told you, teaching also before becoming a CA. But I am not counting that also. Within 3 months of becoming CA, I recovered that money. Now, can you imagine that these students who do engineering, MBA, medical, and they spend 40, 50, 60 and foreign education. If you go, the figure will go in crores. You know how many years it takes only to recover your education cost? And then you compare with CA. As I told you, this is a beautiful decision taken by you, but you will understand only after you become CA. In between, when your CA final will come, life is going to be very, very difficult. Let me put it straight in one line. The financial investment is hardly anything. Hardly anything. What fees we charge today for CA inter or CA final students, I paid more than that to my 10th standard mathematics teacher some 17, 18 years ago. 10th standard maths tuitions I paid more than that. Even today in Mumbai, 10th standard maths tuitions, we generally pay anywhere about 20, 25, 30,000 only for teaching a subject called maths to school going students, maths and science. And then you compare this with the fees being charged in CA course. I am telling you, financial investment wise, this is the best course. But in return, it is going to take physical and mental investment from you, not in intermediate, but once you come to CA final, I am telling you in advance, life is going to be difficult for those 2 years. It is going to be difficult, very, very difficult. But once you sail through those 2 years, that's the best life, and I am a live example in front of you, from zero to hero, from nothing to everything. Today, if I want to buy anything, if I want to spend any amount anywhere for the purpose of my family, for the purpose of the happiness of my family, I don't have to look at the price tag of anything, because this is what the CA course empowered me. Of course, hard work you have to do all your life. Just because I have become a chartered accountant and it has been 10 years, I cannot be sleeping 24 hours. Well, now I am a CA, I don't have to do anything. It does not work that way. You have to work there. Whether you are a singer or actor or dancer, you have to work. You have to work all throughout your life. You all have seen the movie 83 by any chance? Some of you all? It's the story of India's 1983 Cricket World Cup victory. If you talk about this actor, Ranveer Singh, he is very rich. He has got probably everything. He is charging crores of rupees for every movie. Yes. But you go and see the amount of hard work that he put in, that you cannot even actually find out whether it is Ranveer Singh or Kapil Dev. He is looking a copy of that player, of that cricketer. And not just this movie. Go and see some of his past movies. If at all you are interested in Bollywood, I know South Indians are not interested in Bollywood. It is better that I give you examples of Mohanlal or Mammootty. I know that. But the truth is that just because you are rich and successful does not mean that you have to stop working. You have to work all your life. But CA is going to make your life easy after becoming. Before becoming, it is going to be a difficult life. I am telling you in advance, but you will be very happy with your choice once you become a CA. So very good choice of career, and you will get, no matter where you go, you are going to get love, respect, money, everything. Once you have the prefix, once you have the 2 alphabets CA in front of your name, let me tell you, you will never be in a position that you have to ask for something from anyone. You will always be in a position to give. Asking is over. God will take you to a position of giving. That's the beauty of this CA course. Let me introduce how CA Intermediate is placed. CA Intermediate is divided into 2 groups. In fact, this is the same in CA Final also. You have got 2 groups of subjects, Group 1, Group 2. And both groups have got 4 papers. So we call them paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. And then after Group 1 exams get over, group 2 exams start. So that way this is paper 1 of group 2, but institute calls it, to avoid confusion, they call it paper 5. So once you say paper 5, you know you are talking about the first paper of group 2. And of course, paper 6, paper 7, paper 8. If you want to know the names of the subjects, so you have accounting is what you call it. That's one of the subjects. If I'm talking about group 1, you have a subject called cost accounting. Costing is what it is popularly known as. I know you have not studied it before. Costing is also a subject that you are going to be studying for the first time in CA intermediate, unless you have studied in while doing your graduation course. So costing is one subject that you are going to be studying in your group 1. There is a subject called auditing, which is a core area of practice. That's audit is in group 2. You have a subject called advanced accounting. CA is chartered accountant, so all aspects of accountancy you know. See, did I tell you some time back that you have to decide whether the accounts are right or wrong? But for that you need to know every aspect of accounting. So accounting is 2 papers, accounts for 100 marks and advanced accounting is there in group 2 for 100 marks. So out of 8 papers, 2 are accounts only. 200 marks out of 800. 25% of your overall marks is accounts. There is a subject called EIS SM, Enterprise Information System. These days, all organizations maintain their accounts in computers. You go to any retail shop, you buy anything, they have a barcode at the cash counter which they scan and make your bill. The bills are entered in the computers. The sales entry, the purchase entry, everything is done in computer. So how do these computer systems work? Whether they are proper or no, for that a CA is supposed to have knowledge of computers also. So we have a subject called EIS, which is related to computers. Hello? Hello? You are able to hear me? Yes. We have a subject called financial management. Financial management. Also a subject which you are learning for the first time, but it is having 2 papers. So in one paper you have got financial management and economics. I don't know. Somebody has messaged in the chat box that it is the toughest paper. I wonder how, without giving the exam and without studying anything, how are you saying it is a difficult paper? It's a private message, so other people will not be able to see that. Ignore that for the time being. In your syllabus, this paper number 4 is the subject called taxation, which is again divided into 2 parts, direct tax and indirect tax. I'm going to deal with direct tax. I'll come to introduction about taxation in my next point. Point number 3. Right now I am in introduction of CA intermediate. So just tell me, how many papers in CA intermediate? 8 papers. 8 papers. All the papers are of 100 marks. So can I say you have got to appear for 400 marks in group 1 and 400 in group 2? Yes or no? Very simple here. Total being 800. For those who have got small targets in life, who don't want to achieve anything, they just want to be like normal people, just to be normal, that minimum guy, you have, by the way, see, I will try to be funny and relate to things which are covered from movies or web series, but it will not be understood unless you have also seen that respective movie or web series. So recently there was a very famous and popular web series on Amazon Prime called The Family Man 2, and it was made in multiple languages. In fact, in the Hindi version also 50% was Tamil. In the Hindi version also. Do you know that? No? They use a term called don't be a minimum guy. You should not be aiming only for this much. But if your target is only this much, sir, what is the passing marks? If that is your only target in life, I don't like it, by the way. But if that is your target in life, every paper to pass, you have to get minimum 40 marks. So in your 10th standard, maybe you must be having 35 marks passing percentage or whatever, depends on the board you were in. What is the score that you have to get out of 100 to pass that paper? What is your passing marks? If that is your only target in life, 40 marks. So you have to get 40 in all the papers, 40 in accounts, 40 in tax, 40 in audit, 40 in advanced accounting, 40 in costing, 40 in FMECO, 40 in EIS-SM. You have to get 40 marks in all papers. If you get 40 marks in all papers, that will be 8 into 40. 320. You have still failed the CA intermediate. You have still not passed. You've still not passed. You've still not passed. Because in aggregate, you need to get minimum 50%. That means, let me speak one thing clearly. It's simple maths. If you understand, if you don't, I will repeat. Each subject you have to score how much? 40% to pass. But in total, you have to score 50%. That means total minimum has to be 400 out of 800. Minimum 400 has to be a total out of 800. So even if you get 40, 40, 40, 40, 40 in all the papers, 320 is not going to help your case. Yes, you have an option. Supposingly you are very good in accounts. Very good in accounts. Possible? Possible? So in this paper 1 accounts and this advanced accounting, both papers you get 80 marks. How much did you get in accounts? 80. Advanced accounting 80, because you are very good in the subject. And all other papers you get 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40. So 6 papers you have scored 40 marks. That's 240. You're understanding the maths? 2 papers you have scored 80 because accounts is your strong subject. You are good in it. So 2 into 80, 160. That's your score 400. Answer the following questions. Have I scored the passing marks 40 in all the papers? In all papers I have scored 40 marks, no passing marks. Yes, individual subject, individual paper, you have to score 40. Have I scored 40 in all? Yes. And total aggregate, total has to be 50%. Have I scored 50%? Yes, I have cleared CA intermediate. I have passed CA inter. So listen to the next sentence carefully. Individual subject 40 marks, total 50 marks. But can we depend on one paper like this? Of course not. Supposingly this time or whichever is your exam, the accounts paper comes very difficult and you are not able to score this 80. Then you will lose your aggregate and then there will be trouble. You have not cleared CA. And thus your target has to be that you should score 50 marks in all the subjects. So if you score 50 in all, you will get your minimum percentage of 40 that is required for individual paper also. And your aggregate 8 papers into 50 marks each, 400. You will be able to manage both. But this target is only for those students who have got very little target in life, who just want to do that minimum required thing. If this much is serving the purpose, I don't want to do anything extra. If you are a good student, if you want to make a good career, then forget all this. You should target minimum marks 60 in all papers, minimum 60 in all papers, and this 60 is also called as something called exemption. Now sir, what is an exemption? Okay, I'll come to the choice. One of the students has messaged me, how do we choose between both group or single group? Some people say it is good to focus on one group at a time, but some say it's always better to go for both group. How do we choose? I have a question in the chat box. I'll come to that question. Before that, I'll tell you what is an exemption. Okay, come back. Can you see a group of 4 papers here called group 1, paper 1, 2, 3, 4? Please tell me, what is the individual passing percentage? 40. No problem. And what is the aggregate that you have to score in percentage form? 50%. Very good. Now please pay attention. I am telling you the marks of one of the students. Supposingly a student has got 55 marks in paper 1. 55 marks in paper 2, 55 marks in paper 3. That's 165 of 3 papers. And the student gets, hey, I should not select taxation for that. Even in my example, I cannot select. Sorry. Let me take taxation at 55. Let me take. In my example, I cannot say that student got 39 in tax. So I am changing the paper. I am changing my example. Okay. So you got 39 in your paper 3. You got 55 marks in 3 papers. And you got 39 in paper 3. See, out of 100 you can score anything. No, it is an example. Tell me what I am asking you. Have you passed paper 1 individually 40 marks? Individually. Paper 1 I am asking, not the total course. Paper 1. Yes, 40 marks. Paper 2, yes. Paper 4, yes. But can I say that you have not cleared paper 3? You, the so-called word fail. CA is the first time in life when some bright, talented students get that F word, fail, on their mark sheet. I was a school topper. I used to be amongst the top students all my life during my school days. When I appeared for the first level of CA, which all of you all have cleared, at that time I was All India 19th rank. Okay. Then when I came to intermediate is your course, in our days it used to be called PCC. It was PCC, then it became IPCC, and then in your time it became intermediate. I was in a course called PCC. I missed a rank only by 3 marks. And that also in that computer related subject I got 44 marks. 44. I just managed to pass. All other subjects it was 64, 75, 79. Only by 3 marks I missed a rank. So I was a good student all my life. But when I came in CA final, once again that computer related subject, it was there in our time for 100 marks in CA final. Now it is removed. My time it was for 100 marks and I could not clear one paper. Is it possible that there is a student who has not cleared only one paper? Hello? Sorry, what is the last line you heard? A student who has not cleared one paper, 39 marks. Can I clearly see, can all of you clearly see that you have not cleared paper number 3, 39 marks? There is bad news, very bad news. You will have to give the exam again. Wait, not paper 3. You have to give the full group again. If you fail in one paper, please pay attention. If you fail in one paper, you have to give all 4 papers again. All 4 papers again. That means, can I say this student, you can clearly see that he got 40 marks in 3 papers. Aggregate also done. If you count, aggregate is more than 200. So if out of total 800, you have to score 50% marks, then out of only 400, if you give only group 1, you have given only 400 marks exam, then your passing percentage will be 50%, which is 200 marks. The student has scored 200 marks, aggregate also. But the student has still not cleared paper number 3, and now this student will have to reappear for all the 4 papers. This is the line that I am trying to make you understand. If you fail in one paper, you have to give the full group again. You have to give the full group again. Except, now a slight change here. Supposingly, that good student of accounts, instead of 55, you score 65. Anything which is 60 or more, if you score exact 60 also, have you still failed in paper 3? Same marks. Have you failed paper 3? Yes. If you fail in one subject, you have to give the full group again. But you don't need to give this paper you don't need to give again, because you have scored 60 marks. The moment you score 60 marks, we call it an exemption. Exemption means if the student in case is made to appear again for not clearing one of the papers or maybe not getting aggregate, it is possible that you get 60 here, but you have not cleared your aggregate. You have only 40. You have not cleared in your aggregate. Even if you are giving exam again, You don't have to give that paper in which you score 60. Once you get 60 marks, that subject you don't have to give. But small disclaimer, sorry for being negative, small disclaimer, this exemption will be valid for 3 attempts. So in the next 3 attempts, you have to finish your aggregate also over here, and you have to finish the individual subject also. You get 3 chances. Understood what is the meaning of exemption in one line? If you get an exemption, you don't have to give that exam again, even if you have not cleared the group. Is the meaning of exemption understood? I have got a record, ladies and gentlemen, every attempt of CA final specifically, because in paper 4 taxation of intermediate, direct tax is only 60 marks. I'll talk more about taxation as a subject when I come to this point number 3 of my introduction. I am still introducing what is CA intermediate to you. So direct tax is only 60 marks, indirect tax is 40 marks. So I deal with only 60 of your 60. I deal only with 60 marks out of your 100 marks. But in CA final, this subject of mine, direct tax, is a 100 mark paper. So full subject is my responsibility. And attempt after attempt, every exam, before we started class, you must have seen that video also, that loop video that was being played. Every attempt I have a record that my students get more exemptions than anybody else, any other class, any other faculty of the country, more exemptions than anyone else. Of course, I am able to cater to everyone because of my command over multiple languages. I know if I am talking to a North Indian, which language I have to speak in. I know if I am talking to a South Indian, which language I have to speak. But if everybody will be there in class, then I will have to speak in English only, because that is the language of our exam also. So exemption is going to be your target in my subject, at least under all circumstances. My suggestion is that if you are a good student, then you should target 60 marks in all papers. So supposingly in any one of the papers, see, if you aim for 60, maybe you get 50, 55, you clear individual subjects and also your aggregate. But if you don't aim, if you aim only for passing and you don't score that much, then life is going to be a little difficult for you. So in short, you have to target minimum 60. Upper side you can target 65, 70, 75% marks for those students who got 90%, 95%, 98%. Some people get in 10th standard. 98% some people get in 10th standard. For those students who are thinking, sir, what sir? Inda sir, what sir? You are telling us to keep such small target, 60 marks is nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, the people who get 70, 75% marks means you are All India rank 1. All India rank 1 gets in the range of 70 to 75%. Do you know this? Do you know this? You didn't know this? Welcome to Chartered Accountancy. This is an exam where only 5 out of 100 pass. 95 don't pass only. When you don't pass only, when you don't get 40 only, where is the question of 60 or 70 or anything? So those students who are used to getting 90, 95, 98% marks in their 10th standard, 12th standard, welcome to Chartered Accountancy. Welcome to the ground reality. Here 75% marks means you are All India rank 1. So minimum 60 is going to be, I would suggest, target rank. If you target rank, you very easily you clear. If I talk about rank holders also, though I will be honest, if a person is teaching one subject, hello, again it is breaking. I'm back. Am I? Yes. Very good. Students have scored All India rank 2, 3, 5, 6. We all know AIR 6 from Kerala itself was my student only, Akshay, just 2 attempts ago. So rank is something for which credit exclusively goes to the student. Akshay again and again tells students that I was very much responsible for his rank, but I deny this categorically. I clearly tell him, Akshay, when a student is getting rank, or any of these students who got rank is completely your achievement, because you get a rank only if you do good in all the 8 papers. And my contribution will be restricted to one of the papers, paper 4 in your intermediate and paper number 7 in CA final, which is a direct tax paper number 7, group 2, third paper, second last paper of your CA course. My contribution is only that much. If I deserve credit also, it is for these exemptions, and highest number of exemptions, attempt after attempt, in every attempt of CA final, my students have been scoring. I mention about CA final only because CA final I teach the full paper. See, today if you study a 60 marks subject out of 100 from me and you get an exemption also, in case, it is possible that you scored good marks in the other 40 marks GST. Very much possible. Hello. So, to a certain extent, as far as intermediate is concerned, I do only with respect to those students who come and clearly tell me, sir, I cleared. Because if the student is coming and telling me that, sir, direct tax was the reason why I got the exemption, I was okay in indirect. If there is any student who is saying so, then I believe in advertising or taking credit of those intermediate marks. Otherwise, I don't even ask intermediate student how much you scored. Because if that intermediate student is again coming and joining my CA final class, that means the student was happy with the result, the student was happy with the class. That is the reason you join my final class. Other, that's automatically a clear advertisement that the student himself has joined me in CA final. So I don't need to speak much about CA intermediate. Generally, CA final is the last level. So we talk or we market or we advertise only about the CA final results and marks. So are we clear what is our target? Now, the couple of questions relating to how many exemptions and also whether, first question, sir, whether I should give one group or both groups. Very good question. This is always a doubt in the minds of lot of students even after they reach CA final. Okay. Supposingly you choose to give only group. You can never give a single paper. Huh? That's nonsense. If you give, you have to give at least one group. So say you are giving group 1 in May 22 and maybe group 2 in November 22. That is your target. So focus one at a time. May 22 you are giving 4 papers. You have to score 40 marks in the individual paper. And total you will have to score minimum 200. No, out of 400, 200 will be passing. So you have to score individual 40 and total minimum 200. Then in November 22 again, individual 40 and total minimum 200. And like this in 2 exams, 200 karke you clear. For those who want to be that minimum guy, well, sir, if I do this much and I pass, so that is more important in life. Sorry, that's not how I work. You can get a rank only and only if you give both groups together, first of all. Otherwise, your name will not come in the merit list at all. Supposingly, you give group 1 in May 2022. You get 100 marks in all papers. 400. Just joking. This is CA, but assume you get 400 marks total. What's your total of May 22? 400 marks. Full 100% you got. No one in life has done it before. Then you give November 22. You are Rajnikant's cousin. You get 400 marks in group 2 also. So that means, can I say in all 8 papers you got 100 marks? 800, highest possible. No one can get more than that. You will not get a rank. Rank is given only if both groups are given together. So if you will come and ask me, sir, one group or both groups, I will not even entertain that question. That is not even a question for me. That question is for those who want to target little in life. I am not saying, please don't take this as sir, you are too overconfident. No, if you don't keep a target, you will never be able to achieve it. I always jokingly tell my CA final students, one day I will become the finance minister of the country and I will present the budget in the parliament. I always say this to CA final students. But I'll be honest, I am not joking. That's my aim. I want to be that. Unless I want it, I will never be able to achieve it. If you start telling yourself, oh, if I only pass, that is also more than enough. I just want to clear CA. Then you will never get a rank. You can get it only if you say that, yes, I want to get a rank. Of course, we feel shy or humiliated to say this in front. If I say this in front of my friends that I am going to get a rank, they will make fun of me. Hey, rank. So don't say this in front of your friends. It's okay. But say it to yourself, I am going to get a rank. And for rank, you have to give both groups together. That's one reason. Second reason. Let me tell you this also. Supposingly, the total in group 1 is 210. All 4 papers together. You have got 40 marks in all 4 papers. And you have got 210. Have you cleared group 1? 40 marks in all papers and total also done. 210. So group 1 is clear? Yes. And you got 190 in group 2. You have 40 in all papers. Some paper you got 45, some paper you got 48, 47, 50 karke. You don't have any exemption. But total is 190. But because you don't have any exemption, can I say you have failed group 2? Because your aggregate 200 is not done 50%. Group 1 you have passed. Group 1 you have passed because your individual is also done, your total is also done. But group 2 you have failed. Why? Individual papers you have done 40. But why you have failed group 2? Because your aggregate 200, that is 50%, is not done, no? Understood? Now if you have given both groups together, it is not carry forward. Whoever is asking me in the chat box, only exemption is carried forward. Only exemption. That also some students have asked how many papers I can get exemption. I'll answer that question also. Total is not carried forward. You give group 2, you give group 1 in May 22, you get 200 marks. Have you passed group 1? You give group 2 in November, you get 190 marks. You failed group 2, you have to give again May 23 exams. But if you have given both of them together, tell me what's your total. See, inter clear. You get inter group set off only if you have given in the same attempt together both groups. So for rank also both groups giving together important. And for aggregate inter group adjustment of 50% marks. There have been cases where students have scored, like not just 10 marks, there have been cases where student has got sometimes 240 over here and 160 over here, 40 marks in all papers. 40 marks in all papers. So all papers clear but aggregate not done. And these 40 marks you take from here and all 8 papers done. There have been such cases. Okay. So, in short, do you understand? Both groups together, is that topic discussion? Is that over? No further discussion will be done on this particular issue. You have to give both groups together, of course. In this also, different experts differ. Now, that is why a mentor comes into picture. Supposingly, you have a mentor who is monitoring your daily progress, who knows your caliber, who knows that accounts is good or you are bad in audit. Somebody said FMECO is a difficult paper. Somebody is monitoring your daily progress. That person can judge you more than me. I am giving you general opinion. Both groups is the only answer. But individually, personally, if someone knows you well, that person may suggest you that go for this or that. If you have personal touch or personal relation, I have mentored thousands of students myself in my life and I know the caliber of those students individually. So that can be an exception, but in general, it is always going to be both groups together. How we will appear both groups? You have to give 4 papers, then you have to give 4 more papers. I wonder how is that even a question when you were in, I will talk about my 10th standard board exams. 10th standard board exams. I had 9 papers. 9. There was one English paper, there was Hindi paper, there was Marathi. In Maharashtra, Marathi is a compulsory language. So 3 languages. There was a subject called History Civics, Geography Economics. There was Science 1, Science 2, Algebra and Geometry. 9 papers. I gave them together only. 9 papers we all studied together only. And somebody is telling me in chat box that in Kerala state there are 10 papers. Is it so in 10th standard board exams? Acha, Maharashtra maybe it has become 10 now. So ladies and gentlemen, it is not difficult to give all 8 papers. The moment you tell yourself that I will do it, it's about you motivating yourself. Are we clear on this? And now as far as exemption is concerned, let me be very clear. supposingly, let me give you an example. With example, you will understand what I am saying. Supposingly, you got 60 marks in tax, 60 marks in paper 3, 60 marks in paper 2, 39 in paper 1. One thing we can for sure say, that you have not cleared group 1 because you have failed in one paper. If you fail in one paper, then you have to give the full group again, all the 4 papers. Except those subjects in which you have exemption. How many subjects you have exemption? So next time you have to give only accounts, paper 1. Only one. And how will that aggregate be counted next time? Whatever you score in accounts in the next exam. Supposingly, next attempt you score 45 in accounts. This time you failed, but next time you got 45. With this, we will also include your 60, 60 and 60. And now you are done with individual subjects also. These marks will be carried forward. For how many attempts? 3 attempts. Carried forward up to 3 attempts. So we will count 60, 60, 60. Second attempt in accounts you got 45. So individual also done, aggregate also done. Now group 1 is clear. Now assuming that student gave only group 1. Same calculation you can apply for the second group also. Okay. But does that mean that we can carry forward more than one exemption also? Is that at least understood? So if I score 3 exemptions, all 3 are carried forward up to 3 attempts. Is that clear? Wait. But the rule of ICAI, I am telling you the ICAI rule, and I have to tell you this because students of intermediate don't know this. Once you come in CA final, my first lecture of CA final is available on YouTube as introduction lecture for general students in general. You can like, share, subscribe, hit the bell button, never miss an update. Haha. First lecture is available. I don't do this discussion. I directly start my subject after little introduction about myself. This I am telling you because you don't know this. You all have clearly understood multiple exemptions can be carried forward. But wait, the rule of ICAI is only if the exemption is scored in the first attempt. In the same sitting. Not the first attempt, but in the same sitting. Sir, what do you mean by this? Supposingly, along with this 39, I got 60, 60 and 59. How many exemptions this time? 2. So how many papers I will have to give again? 2. Paper 1 and paper 4. In the second attempt, I got 45 here. In the second attempt, I got 45 here. No problem. This 60 is going to be carried forward. This 60 is going to be carried forward. And this time, supposingly I got 60 marks over here also. First check. Have we cleared all the papers individually? Yes. Have we also covered our aggregates? Yes. So you have cleared CA intermediate. But in case in your second attempt, again this happens with you. Again this happens. So this 60 is from the previous attempt. This 60 is from the previous attempt. This you have given this time. So this 60 in tax you have scored in the second attempt. But accounts you have failed again. Sorry. But bad luck. Maybe this one subject you are not comfortable. It is only an example. It is only an example. First tell me, have you cleared group 1? No. You will have to give group 1 again in your next attempt. Accounts you have to definitely give. In these 2 papers, you had an exemption in your first attempt. In this paper, you got exemption in the second attempt. You have to decide. You have to decide. You can take only those exemptions which got together. Means either you can take these 2 exemptions or you can take this one. You cannot take all 3. If you take this 60 of your new attempt, then the old will go away. And if you take these two continue, then you will not get this. You will have to surrender one of your exemptions. Obviously, here it is better to take exemption of 2 papers. I do understand. But what if your position was 59 over here and 59 again over here? So this is not counted. This is not counted. This again you have failed. Only this 60 was taken here. So in paper number 2, you got exemption when you gave the exam for the first time. And in paper number 4, you got exemption when you gave the exam for the second time. You can take only one of them. So whichever subject you find difficult, that exemption you can take, and whichever subject you think that you will be able to manage again, that exemption you will have to surrender. I will say that line again. You can carry forward multiple exemptions to 3 attempts in future if you got them in the same sitting. If you get one exemption in May 22 and other in November 22, you can take only one of them. Understood the carry forward system of exemption? Those students who asked me in the chat box, and also one doubt, sir, one group or both groups, that for me is not even a doubt. I have put that discussion also to rest. I again say this, all this introduction is relevant because a lot of students are giving for the first time CA intermediate lecture, first lecture of CA inter, first lecture of taxation. That is why this introduction is required. Otherwise, I would have not done this introduction. But now, this is your CA inter for you. What are your subjects and what is your target? I have clearly laid down in front of you. And now I come to my paper. Excuse me. The next point in my introduction, I hope you can clearly see. I have done introduction of faculty already. I have now finished introduction of CA intermediate. Now I am going to come to you to introduction of taxation, that is my subject, its relevance in your career. Then I will come to manner of learning, some strict rules. If you want to be my student, you have to follow certain rules. And it is in your interest that you follow. So I will tell you that in the manner of learning. Lastly, what study material I will issue for doing good in this subject. What are the books that I will give you? I will introduce everything one by one. I am right now in the introduction of my subject called taxation, where we start our subject called taxation. Paper number 400 marks, which is going to be 30% MCQ from the 2019 May exams, May 19. In some of the papers of CA Inter as well as CA Final, Institute introduced something called MCQs, multiple choice questions. There is going to be a question. Kaun banega crorepati? You all have seen. Whichever language. 4 options, multiple choice questions, MCQs. 30% of your paper is going to be multiple choice questions. You have to select. Why this happened? Before 2019, especially in the year 2018, 1 year before that, there was some controversy. And the controversy was very simple. Institute is asking a question which is subjective, means you have to solve the full thing. Solve the full sum, write the full theory. 2 students have written the same answer, exact copy, because both studied from the same book and both are good students, so wrote the exact thing written in the book. But the papers were corrected by different examiners. Obviously, all papers cannot be corrected by one person, no? And examiner gave marks based on some, in school also some teachers were strict, some were lenient, some used to give more marks, some used to give less marks. And the students are fighting. The fight is, sir, we have both written the same answer. Why are we getting different marks? Because human involvement of correction of papers, and thus the difference in marks. To eliminate this problem, they have now introduced a 30%. I think foundation there is no MCQ, but in intermediate and final both, some of your papers, tax, audit, except your practical subjects, accounts, costing, FM, wherever there is theory, you will find 30% of your paper as multiple choice questions. Very, very scoring area, provided you are clear with the subject. If you don't have knowledge of the subject, you will never be able to answer that. And of course, 70 marks, 70% is going to be subjective, where you have to solve your full sums. You have to write the answer to the theory questions. Taxation is a subject where you have theory and practical both. This is the only subject where you will get both. Accounts is only sums. Costing, SFM, only sums, hardly some very little theory which is applicable in costing and financial management. Some of your other subjects like audit or law, they are only theory. You may not get any sums, problem solving there will not be in audit law, but taxation is a subject where there will be problem solving, sums also, and theory subjective questions also. So 70% will be your subjective questions, and of course this 100 marks is going to be divided into direct tax, which is 60 marks, and indirect tax, GST, 40 marks. All we know about GST is we pay GST when we buy a few things, goods or services, but that's 40 marks of your portion. That's your 100 marks, and you get 30% MCQ in both. So here in DT you have 18 marks MCQ and 42 marks subjective. Same 30-70 breakup here. So overall 100 is broken into 30 and 70. That individual also you have got a breakup of 30% and 70%. In fact, in your question paper is only divided in two sections. You get section A, direct tax, 18 marks MCQ, 42 marks subjective, and section B, indirect tax, 30%, that is 12 marks MCQs, and 70 marks, 28 marks subjective. That is how your paper is placed. So in short, can I say, out of 800 marks in CA intermediate, you have to study taxation for 100 marks. This is actually a little incorrect by ICAI. They could have, in fact, these are core subjects of chartered accountancy. They should have kept them for 100 marks. Direct tax should have been 100 marks. Indirect tax also should have been 100 marks. These are core areas of CA practice. But unfortunately, only in one paper they are merged because they wanted to keep eco also, EIS also, strategic management also, law also. A CA is an all-rounder. You are expected to have knowledge about everything where money is involved, and thus they had to keep it short. But wait, after inter, that cannot be your only objective. If you clear inter, you have to clear final. Otherwise, what is the point of clearing inter? Just 1 minute of introduction about CA final. Same position, two groups, group 1 4 papers, group 2 also 4 papers. The last two papers in CA final, paper 7 is direct tax, 100 marks, and paper 8 is indirect tax, 100 marks. Out of 800 marks of CA final, 200 marks is taxation. 200 marks is taxation. And paper 6 of CA final, which is also in group 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 are group 2. Group 1 has 4 papers, group 2 has 4 papers, same as intermediate. Paper 6 is something called an elective paper. Elective means they will give you 6 options. You can choose any one of them. There is a subject called Global Financial Reporting Standard. There is a subject called Case Study. There is a subject called Risk Management. There is a subject called Capital Markets. There is a subject called International Taxation. There is a section called, there is a subject called Economic Laws. Out of those 6, you can choose whichever you like. We call it an elective paper. Elective. You choose which subject I want to appear for. Paper 1 is accounts, financial reporting, compulsory for all. Paper 2 is financial management, compulsory for all. Paper 3 is audit. Paper 4 is law. Group 1, all 4 papers are compulsory. Group 2, first paper. Paper 5 is costing, compulsory. Paper 7 and 8, DT, IDT, compulsory. The only choice that you get, elective paper. Earlier, paper 6 was that computers paper in which everyone used to fail. But in new syllabus, they removed the computers and they brought this subject called elective. You can choose. And here also, some students choose that subject called, hello? Is there a break in voice? There is a subject called international tax. This is your choice. At the end of my subject, if you start liking taxation, You work in your articleship, you do taxation work. Anyways, this 200 you have to study for, whether you like or you hate tax. This you have to study. But if you start liking tax, you may choose international tax. It will become 300 marks. Even if I ignore international tax for the time being, it's an elective paper. This international tax is something called an open book paper. Means you can take your books with you in exam. You are allowed only this one paper. You are allowed to take books in exam. Open book paper. You can. They will ask you a question. You search for the answer in the book and you can write the answer. Very, very easy subject. Very easy subject. But we'll talk about it when we come to CA final. First, let's focus on CA intermediate. Right now, the two compulsory papers are DT, IDT, paper 7, paper 8, 100 marks each. So, focus, please. Can I say, therefore, in your CA course, effectively, you have to learn 300 marks total, inter and final together, compulsory 300. If you choose international tax, again, it will become 400. But I am ignoring international tax. Right now, I am focusing only on the compulsory papers. 300 marks out of, I think 400 in foundation. 400 no in foundation. 800 in inter and 800 in final. So out of 2000, 2000 marks is the total that you appear in CA from foundation to final. In that 300 marks, you have to study 15% of your life. Therefore, 15% of your student life. After becoming CA, you can become a singer also. That's a matter of choice. But as your student life, 15% is going to be consumed in learning taxation, a core area. As I said in the beginning, the moment we hear the word tax, we want a CA. CA equal to tax, tax equal to CA. That's the importance of taxation in your life. It is advisable that you take it seriously, because if you don't take it seriously right now in intermediate, when you are learning for the first time, you will be taught everything from the basic. I am going to assume you don't know anything at all. Anything at all. So if you have got some knowledge of taxation, sir, because I am direct entry, I am working in a CA office. Sir, I am in graduation, so I am doing a little tax in my BCom exams. Sir, my father, mother, my brother, sister already a CA, so they discuss taxation at home. So I know tax. Please delete. You know the word delete. You know the meaning of the word delete. Don't delete. Listen, shift delete. You know the difference between delete and shift delete in a computer? That is why computers are there in CA syllabus. You should know everything. You know the difference between delete and shift delete? If you only delete, it goes in the recycle bin. It will come again. Shift delete. Delete permanently. Whatever you know about taxation, you will be taught everything from the base, assuming that you don't know anything. You don't know a single word about taxation. That is the manner of learning that we are going to follow. And it is good in your interest. And if you don't take it seriously over here, in final, we cannot go from such basics. And students therefore find it difficult in final. I'll tell you one more very bad habit of students that I have seen in so many years of teaching. Let me be honest. This part that I am going to cover with you is only 60 marks of your syllabus. But this is bigger than some of your 100 mark paper. The syllabus of DT 60 marks is more than your EISSN, is more than audit. You have to study less for 100. Number of chapters are less in your audit paper, in your law paper, in your EISSN. In FM, though, they have incorporated two different subjects. That is why it becomes big. Otherwise, individually, if you compare with FM or ECO, direct tax is bigger than all. Means a 60 mark subject is bigger than your 100 mark papers. In terms of size, one word, vast, huge, big, huge it is. And a little complicated also, difficult also. In comparison, this other law in the same paper that you have to study. So together here you have to score your exemption together out of 100 marks. In the GST part, one, it is very, very small. GST is probably 1/3 of the size of. Now see, I am taking 5-hour lectures. I will be taking every day. 5-hour lectures. I will have to take at least 20 to 25 lectures. 100 to 120 hours are required. GST gets over in 30-40 hours. 1/3 in terms of size. If 5 hours lectures are taken by GST teachers, they can complete GST portion in 8 to 10 days. 1 week also. 1 week also. And it is easy also. Scoring also. Scoring, easy, small. So what people do? They get 40 marks here itself. Bola sir, okay, chalo, I have passed the paper taxation. I have cleared taxation. As far as my aggregate is concerned, I will bring from other papers. I am good in accounts, costing. I am good in practical. I will bring my aggregate from there. And they completely ignore this paper. They don't take it, or maybe they take this paper seriously only to get about 5-10 marks so that they can get 40 from here and about 10 marks from here. And they will think that, okay, I have got my aggregate. So whatever I wanted to get in tax, done. Those minimum guys who want to target only minimum in life. Life becomes very difficult for them when they come here and they have to face me again for 100 marks. Very difficult. Because your basics are very, very poor. Over the years, I have seen this. There have been cases where for some years in between, I was not teaching. Is there a break in voice? Hello? Heard? When you come to CA final, life becomes very difficult. There was an in-between period because I had increased my workload of final. See, already final direct tax is a very big subject. Plus then international tax also came when new syllabus came. No, from 2018 new syllabus came. So I had international tax also. From 2017 I started traveling outside Mumbai. I started going to Ahmedabad. 2018 I started visiting Kerala. So multiple batches, at least 4 months in a year I stay away from home. I stay in Ahmedabad. Of course, last 2 years everything has been online. But before that, so the amount of workload of CA final increased so much, I could not focus on CA intermediate student. And if you cannot do justice, then you should not do only work. You pick up work in life only if you can do justice to it. If your hands are full, then you should not insert your hand everywhere. Okay. So I decided not to take intermediate for some time. Even then, matlab students were learning intermediate tax from someone else, and in final the batches were still full. The main problem being because students were clearly told that if you want to make your base clear, your basics clear, so that you understand the depth of taxation, then you have to come to my class. So final they were coming to me without me teaching them intermediate. In so many years, thousands of students whom I have not taught in intermediate, but they directly came to my class in final. One problem I faced with them, their basics of taxation were very poor. Very poor because they did not take it seriously over here. I suggest that you take it seriously because this is indispensable. In final CA, this same 60 mark paper will come to 100 mark. So it is better that you take it very, very seriously. Taxation is going to comprise of 300 marks, 100 in intermediate and 200 marks. Even if I ignore international tax, 200 marks in your CA final. Which brings me to a little introduction about the subject direct tax. Supposingly this is direct tax. One law called Income Tax Act. From section 1 to the last section. First section to the last section. Okay. Every law is divided in sections. No, that much you know or you don't. Or if you don't, then I will talk a little about that also. I don't think that I need to talk about that. Otherwise, it will unnecessarily waste time. Every law is divided in sections. Small parts divided into parts called sections. Yes. Supposingly this is your income tax law. Direct tax from the first section to the last section. I will give you one good news and one bad news. One good news. From this income tax law, only 50%, maybe a little less than that, is the portion of CA intermediate. Income tax is so big, so vast, so huge that they cannot keep the full portion for 60 marks. Not possible. In fact, the chapters which are a part of CA intermediate also, if you open the first page of your ICAI study material, which is also divided, there are 4 modules of taxation. In the first few pages itself, they have given chapter wise exclusions. They have said that in this chapter business profession, following sections will not be applicable in CA inter syllabus. In capital gains chapter, following sections will not be applicable. There are chapter wise exclusions also. Even in the 50% syllabus, some sections are excluded. Means institute has announced that it's not a part of your portion. You don't need to study. Very happy. Your income tax law only little is applicable. because full they cannot keep for 60 marks. If they will ask 3 sums, 60 marks will get over. And if you understand, please, 18 marks are already going away in MCQs. Then 42 marks, how much we will ask? 14 mark ka, if we ask 3 questions, in 3 questions, 42 marks will get over. And the big sums of 14 marks, if in 3 sums only it gets over, then how much we can keep in intermediate? So they have kept only 50% of your income tax. That's your portion. And this 50% is also huge. Now I'll give you the bad news. You know what is the CA final portion of direct tax? No? Obviously, this will be a part that I don't need to tell you. This has to be a part of CA final. If it is income tax, your main subject, your career, if anyone knows income tax, it is a chartered accountant. So if you have studied only half year, the other half has to be taught. So one thing is very clear. Where will the other half come? The other half of income tax? In CA final. My dear ladies and gentlemen, my dear chettas and chechis. So no. This is your CA final direct tax portion of 100 marks. From the first section to the last section. Means, in short, listen to what I am saying. Every word that I teach you in direct tax in CA intermediate is repeated word to word, word by word once we enter CA final. Every word is repeated. And anybody not taking it seriously now will have difficulties in articleship, will have difficulties in CA final, will have difficulties in clearing that paper. I need to make sure, we need to make sure that your base is perfect, clear, such perfect, such clear that final also becomes very easy. Right from now, we will, of course, initial target is intermediate, but while targeting intermediate exams, final exams are also going to be somewhere at the side of our mind so that we are clear about anything and everything, because just clearing intermediate is not going to help our life. Ultimately, we have to do this, and for that we have to prepare from now on. If we work from now, then final will become very easy. There was one student who got All India rank 1 some years ago, and when he was, of course, once you get All India rank 1, the whole world wants to interview you. You become a celebrity in the CA community for a temporary period. Then after 2 attempts, everybody forgets. But those 6 months, you are the celebrity in the CA community. So everybody was interviewing him, and in an interview, he ended up saying that CA final is easier than 10th and 12th standard exams. I'm not joking. All India rank 1 said it. CA is easier than 10th and 12th. He became meme material across the CA community. Every part of the country, CA students made fun of him. You know meme material? You know memes? You cannot not know memes, huh? Your generation. I learn memes so that I can make the class entertaining because I know which generation I am dealing with. He got trolled. You know troll? There are so many troll pages. Troll CA, troll future CA, something like that. Instagram is filled with such pages. Twitter, Facebook is also filled with such pages. People made fun of him. He just made one mistake. His statement was not, he is a good student, but he made a wrong statement in a way that what he should have said, if you work properly with proper planning and execution, don't just make plans, don't just make timetables, follow the timetables. If you plan well and you execute your plans well, then you can make CA easy for yourself. CA is a very difficult course. It is one of the toughest exams in the world. But if your planning and execution is proper, you can make a difficult exam. Difficult things can be made easy, provided you plan properly you execute, and if you are immature, especially at your age and level, if you don't have that maturity of planning, then we teachers are there for you day in and day out at any hour of the day, at any point of time, morning, evening, night, middle of the night also, if some student is in trouble, not just related to taxation, some problem in life. Sir, I have had a fight and this is the problem. I think I was right. Sir, can you do something? I have been with my students in such times also. Those students who clear CA, they are celebrating. Everybody is celebrating with them. There are some students who don't clear. They are sad. They don't have anyone to talk to. They don't know what to do, sir. Sir, I didn't know that I am a good student. I have failed, sir. Now what to do? They don't have anyone whom they can talk also. Today I can tell one thing very clearly. That day when your results are out, I know we have already kept our targets very high. In case, God forbid, for some reason you were unwell during your, whatever be the reason, if you don't clear, I am going to stand for you and I am going to be available for you. I do that with all the students who have joined my class. I am going to be there for you. You need not worry about it. Are we absolutely and totally clear about it? All of us? Okay. So, but please make sure that you follow my instructions that I will be giving you again and again. Plan well, execute well, and I am there for you. And you follow my, if I tell you that this is a homework, you have to do it and come tomorrow. In fact, most of you all are attending only these coaching classes throughout the day. Other than that, majorly you may not be having, if you are not going to office or anything. You are, I am not saying that immediately after my lecture gets over, then only you sit and revise, or you don't take any break. Take 2-3 hours break. I am going to leave you at 3 o'clock. After that 2 hours break, sit in the night for half an hour. But revise what I am doing every day, study every day. If you work along with me, then you will be able to very, very easily achieve what we have kept as target. And wherever you are getting stuck, I am going to be there for you. You need not worry about that. So are we clear that we have to take this subject? It is a core subject. It's a very, very big subject. And there is going to be this temptation, because indirect tax is easy. So there is going to be this temptation to focus on indirect tax and not focus on direct tax. Please make sure that you stay away from such temptations. Please make sure that you stay away from such temptations. Are we clear on this? Okay. It's a very important subject. More about the subject when I actually start the teaching part, I'll go to that. I just have to tell you last two things. I had to tell you the importance of taxation. That was my point number 3 of introduction. After this, only 2 points are left: manner of learning and study material. Then we actually start our subject, paper number 4, taxation, and then we start discussing and learning what our subject taxation is all about. Let me be clear about the manner of learning. Very, very clear. Okay. I am going to take lectures from Monday to Saturday. This timetable you have already been given. Start time of my lecture is going to be 9:30 a.m. sharp. How many years I have been in teaching? 11 and a half. 12 I will complete this year. CA final lectures start at 7 o'clock. 7 only I have to start, because at 10 o'clock they have to leave for office. They are doing articleship also, no? They have to do, I told you final is difficult because you have to manage everything together. 10 I have to leave them. So sharp 7 I have to start. In more than 11 years of teaching, I have not started a lecture at 7:03 or 7:02 or 7:04. 7 means 7. I enter class at 6:55 a.m. only. I have to set my laptop, whatever I have to check. I have to see whether the AC is working properly or no, mic is working properly or no. All that checking is done 5 minutes before the class, and class starts at sharp 7 o'clock. In final, and in Mumbai is a big city. So the different locations, no, so I am based in one area, at one place in Mumbai. There is one class here, there is one class here, there is one class here. I am somewhere in the center of Mumbai. So I take one batch here for 2 months, one batch here for 2 months, one batch here for 2 months. 6 months I take CA final in Mumbai. 40-minute drive in the morning. 40 minutes. I reach at 6:45. Only because it is an online class, getting up time is 5:30, otherwise I get up at 4:30. Just because I have been into 11 years into teaching and students across the country know me, does not mean that now I can go to class late. There is no alternative for discipline. 7 means 7. If I don't compromise at 7 o'clock, you don't expect any compromise at 9:30. If you observe carefully, today's lecture also, sharp at 9:30, I came, whoever was present at that time, I told you that I am here, but wait for 5 minutes because those students who are attending the first lecture don't know my system. And in the first lecture, in my introduction, I have to tell you this. After today, there is not going to be any compromise. 9:30 means 9:30 sharp. You better make your arrangements prior to that. Our end timing is going to be 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I will leave you. Okay, that becomes, I think, 5.5 hours. Yes, in between I will give you a break. You tell me in 5.5 hours how much time break you want. In between, no break required. We are very good, sir. Huh? 1 hour. Huh? Someone said 1 hour. No? Chalo. 20 to 30 minutes means 20 minutes to half an hour break I will be giving you every day. Minimum 20 I will give you, and for lunch and all, whoever wants to it. But problem is that after lunch, once food goes in your stomach, the brain stops working. Correct, no? And sometimes if we are doing some very complicated topic, difficult topic, so we can extend the break to half an hour. Alternatively, what we can also do is, we can, in the middle of a complicated topic, we can take first a break of, supposingly it's been, today see it's only introduction. So there is not much, much pressure or stress on your mind. But someday if it is a very, very complicated topic, we can take a 10-minute break first, and then later we can take a 20-minute break. We can do that way, or at a stretch also. Maximum the duration will be, I want effective 5 hours every day. And supposingly someday it's a heavy topic, so you say, sir, half an hour break for food and 10 minutes extra break for relaxation. Then after 3 o'clock I will extend that class, because effective I want minimum 5 hours after considering your break. So I will be fair with you, you also be fair with me. Together we are working for the betterment of your career. See, I am already a chartered accountant, successful. People across the country know me. You Google my name and people know me. Okay. So I still am very serious, because your career is important. I want to see you exactly where life has taken me, and therefore, please make sure that you follow this. I have started today on 15th of January. Our start date, 15th, no? And I believe that by the 10th of February, I am going to complete your syllabus. By 10th February, I will be getting done. I will be taking Monday to Saturday, 10th February, maybe 1 or 2 days extra. Now see, supposingly we are near completion of our portion, but portion is still not over by 10th. We can take 1 day extra, 2 days extra, but just because I want to complete on 10th, I am not going to be fast in completing portion. There are some people who, when they reach the end of their syllabus, they are like, do fast and finish fast. No, 10th can become 11th, maybe 12th maximum, but I will not increase the speed. If in case, because of some emergency or contingency, we have to cancel any lecture in between, I am not going, generally there is no cancellation. In case there is, then our options are after 3 o'clock to extend the class to maybe to 4:30 to cover up the portion if required. If the duration increases a lot, again we will take a break, no need to worry. At no point of time I will keep any class longer than 3 hours. So the moment we are crossing 3 hours, I will first give you a break. 3 hours is the highest continuous teaching that will take place. Is that clear? And 3 hours is not stressful. I will give you break the moment we touch 3 hours. Okay. So if we extend beyond 3 o'clock also, I will again give you break. You don't worry. But we have to serve the purpose. In worst circumstances, I might have to take Sunday classes extra afternoon for 2-3 hours without break. 3 hours without break we can take on Sundays. 1 to 4 or 2 to 5. When the whole world sleeps, we will study taxation. Okay. Also like a sleeping pill only. Time will tell how taxation works for you. So I don't want to do that. I want to give you 1 day holiday so that you can relax, rejuvenate, so that you are fresh on every Monday for a week full of hectic learning. But if required, we will do it. First target will be little extension beyond 3 o'clock. But then if that is not working, we will go to this extra lectures on Sunday. Is that clear, everyone? This is how we will be learning. I have already told you that you have to be sharp on time after today. Jaise today I started at 9:30, but I said that 5 minutes we will wait for students who are joining late. Okay, so that was only for today. After that, it is never going to happen again. I have already told you the medium of communication is going to be 100% English. मुझे हिंदी आती है, मला मराठी येते, મને ગુજરાતી આવડે છે, यानी कि मलयालम મને સાલવમ. But all that is not relevant right now. Exams have to be given in English, and thus the medium of communication for these lectures is going to be English. Are we clear? Next, today's lecture was, if you know, like a demo class, and thus anybody who wanted to attend can come and attend today. Monday onwards, only those students who decide to continue with me for the full subject direct tax are only going to be, they will be provided the link and the user ID and password of the meeting. Everybody is not going to be given that user ID and password Monday onwards. That obviously you all are aware. First lecture we have kept open for all. Okay. In the message which was sent about the link for today's lecture, one thing was clearly written. I believe a lot of people of this class did not read that one point, which is, and I was waiting for this event here to tell you this. If you want to attend my lecture, I am very, very strict and particular, and I don't compromise on this with CA final students also. Your video has to be on at all times. Till the time I am only doing an introduction today, I am not forcing you. Once this introduction is over and the actual subject taxation will start, I am not going to be compromising on this. See, I am showing you my handsome face now. What if I start doing this with you? What if I start talking to you like this and I only show you this and I don't show you my face? Will you not miss such a handsome face on screen? You're already missing my face, isn't it? I'll just write on the tab that is open in front of me. I'll just write here. You are able to hear me. You are able to see the screen. So looking at my face is not important. Is it so? Nahi na. Nahi na. Arey, communication I think is one of the subjects also in your CA course. There is a subject, no, communication. It's a part of your law paper, I think. I think it is. I'm not sure. Huh? I'm not sure. Yes. The first thing that you will be taught in effective communication is, unless and until you maintain eye contact with your audience, you will never understand whether your audience has understood what you have said or no. Today, if I crack a joke, I see some students like Sukena, I see Tamanna, I see some students who have kept their video on. I can see Ashfia, I can see their video on, I can see their expressions, and I understand even Shlok for most of the lectures, but in between he went away for some time. Today's lecture, the moment I saw your face, I got an idea of whether you smile every time I crack a joke. Just give me 1 second, please. Just give me one. Only when I see your expressions, I can realize that you all are understanding what I am speaking. And thus this is a very important aspect of communication. Without, if I crack a joke and I don't know whether you have understood or no, then my joke will also go. And simple, if I show my handsome face, I also want to see your handsome face. As simple as that. Okay. I am not interested in what is the background behind you or who are the people around you. There are sometimes when I am, especially in the early morning hours when I am teaching, CA final students, some family member, they get up from their sleep. A student is sitting in front of the camera and the family member is doing stretching. Our lecture has started. How is it going? Good faculty. Early morning at 7 o'clock. I am not interested in all that. That does not distract me because I am focused on my work. And once I am focused on my work, nothing can distract me. But, and see, if I start allowing some students to keep, then I keep video off, then I will have to allow everyone. So rule is applicable to all the students. If you want to be a part of my classroom, then video has to be on. Maximum permission is going to be, maximum permission in any lecture, a maximum of 5 minutes for any emergency. Any person found with video, and I do this with CA final students also. Don't be surprised, sir, you do this with professional students. I do this with CA final students. Okay. So if the video is off for more than 5 minutes, I remove the student. In, just like in classroom, you can tell a students, please leave the class. In Zoom, I can do that. Right click, remove. And do you also know that once a person is removed from a Zoom meet, you are not able to log in again in that meet? Do you know that? You need a different device. You can log in only from a different device. So I have not compromised with CA final students also. It is out of question that I will compromise with inter and final students. Don't feel bad. You will also reach that stage. Final students generally are more matured and sincere because of age and articleship experience. Age and experience automatically brings a little maturity. In final also, there are some students who are lying down like this on their bed with one leg on the other, cross leg, sleeping and watching that video on that mobile like they are watching any web series on Amazon Prime. I don't mind till the time you are keeping it on, until the time with your facial expressions you are showing me whether you are understanding the things that I am speaking or no. And thus this rule is going to be, today I am not enforcing till now because introduction is going on. Once this will get done and actual subject will start, I will say now I am starting the subject, now that video rule is going to be applicable. But from Monday onwards, even for 1 minute, I am not going to compromise. I have told you this very, very clearly. Okay. As far as audio is concerned, audio and video together make communication. Okay. If possible. Why am I saying this if possible? Because see, I am a professional teacher and this is my profession. So I have made investments. I have got at least 2-3 mics. I have got 3 laptops. I have got multiple Wi-Fi connections because 2 years I am teaching from home. 2 years. I still remember 10th March 2020. I was in Kerala only, Kochi. I was taking a CA final batch. And Akshay was coincidentally a student of that batch only. And suddenly government of Kerala announced, because Kerala was the worst affected state with COVID-19 coronavirus. Government of Kerala was the first government to announce a lockdown. And I was immediately told that the batch has to be cancelled. And I had to leave for Mumbai. Is a last physical lecture that I took. Then for 1 year, I did not take any lecture. Coincidentally, exactly after 1 year, 11th March 2021, exactly after 1 year, I came for a physical batch again in Kerala. I took a 15-day batch of CA final and I left. And after that, the second wave came in April. And since then, it has been almost again 8-9 months now. In March, it will be again 1 year. In the last 2 years, I have taken only 15 days classroom coaching. And because I am doing everything from home, I have got plenty of infrastructure in terms of Wi-Fi connection. I have income, so there is expense. No problem. As a student, I don't expect you to spend in an expensive quality mic only to interact with me in class. But just in case you are interested, this company is not giving me any commission, by the way. I am not getting any commission from this company. Okay. Just for your knowledge, there is a company called Boya. You will find it on the Amazon app or Amazon website. They provide these mics, very, very reasonable cost, 200, 300, 400, 500, up to highest. I have taken the most expensive, that was about 1200 rupees or something, because I wanted perfect without any disturbance. If you want better interaction with me, you can take a good, what happens is if the mic quality is not good, no, when a student unmutes himself or herself, there is kar disturbance in between, and it disturbs the whole class also. So if there is any disturbance around you or in your mic, then you stay mute. Whenever you want to talk to me, you can unmute. At that time we will interact with each other. You can ask your doubts to me at that time, and we can clear up whatever doubts you have. So audio, if there is no disturbance, absolutely, you are in a separate, you are isolated, you are in a coronavirus patients are same as CA students. They have to stay away from the world. They are not allowed to interact from everything. They have to stay in a closed room. What they are doing only they know. They are not in contact with anyone in the family, in friends. This is so much like CA course, the coronavirus, honestly speaking. So if you have the privilege of a separate room in home and where there is nobody to disturb you, and you can keep your mic on, so that will be the best form of communication between you and me. Regularly I will ask you, Bolo, tell me the total. You have to give me the answer. I'll say, tell the tax liability. You have to give me the answer. I will say, this is the income of the assessee. Give me the total. You have to give me the answer. The more you interact with me on audio, the better will be the communication of the classroom. For that, there is one more option. Even if there is disturbance around you, no? Supposingly, I am asking you the total income of the assessee. You have calculated 15 lakh. You unmute yourself. You know, with the space bar on your laptop, you can unmute, or even in your mobile, unmute. You say, sir, 15 lakh, and immediately mute. So for 1 second, you can unmute, but for that, you have to be very active. Again and again, mute, unmute, mute, unmute. Or if you have a good quality mic, then, and some are like, sir, even if it was a physical classroom, I would have not interacted with you. You speak, no, sir, you are getting paid for speaking. Why should we speak? You have a point. But to make communication effective, so that you don't sleep in an online class, this is important. In video, there will be absolutely no compromise once my subject starts. But in audio, if possible, arrange. We have a long 120-hour class. If possible, arrange for that mic. It will be in your interest and my interest for better communication purposes. Are we absolutely clear about this rule? Language of communication, timing of our classroom. What we are going to do is, every class, once we finish the class at 3 o'clock or maybe the extended timing, then after class, it is also a part of my manner of learning. I can tell you this today only. From tomorrow, I am not going to discuss anything of this with you. We have to focus on our subject, which is vast. After class, we will wait back for 10 to 15 minutes for two things. One, I will give you screenshots of whatever I have written. See, can you see everything that I am speaking, I am writing also for explanation purposes on my screen. Now, you don't expect me that, okay, sir, you have written this, wait, let us copy. If we wait like this, then you will have to give May 23 exams. November 22 also not possible. Okay. So, we cannot wait for you to copy everything that I write in class. The best thing that we will do is, I will announce class over. Whoever wants to go can leave. Whoever wants screenshots, please stay back. Then I will scroll my full tab of that day from start to end, frame by frame. Whatever screenshots you want, I will give you. Last 10-15 minutes in every class, we will wait back only for taking screenshots of whatever we have studied during that day. Very easy, simple to understand. And while I am scrolling my tab, so there are people who want screenshots, they are taking. At the same time, throughout the day, if you have any doubt, so from 9:30 to 3 o'clock, any concept if you have a doubt, anything that you have a doubt in, okay, I can, while the screenshots are going on, at the same time answer doubts of students. For that, what you are required to do is, the moment I make an announcement, that is the end of today's lecture. Those who want screenshots or have doubts, please stay back. The rest can leave. You have to type in the chat box, doubt. And I will call out the names in the order of your message in the chat box. So supposingly, Sale was the first student who sent the message. So I will announce, Sale, tell me what's your doubt. Shlok was the second student. Tamanna was the third student. Amisha was the fourth student. I will take the name and then you ask your doubt. And in the meantime, the screenshots will go on simultaneously. At the end of every lecture, I will be giving you screenshots and answering your doubts, so that the classroom time is not wasted In these things, classroom time is very precious. Is that clear what we will be doing? So there will not be any doubt which is unanswered. All throughout, your doubts are going to be answered. Is that clear? Okay. Okay. And of course, if you want me to repeat anything that I am teaching, you immediately tell me that can you repeat? That I will do immediately. And otherwise, you can write your doubt on a piece of paper. That we will do at the end. This is how we will be going about our batch, our timing, our duration. All that is going to get covered, and every depth of whatever is applicable, every section which is applicable will be taught to you in detail. At the end of the batch, you will not be left with any scope of any doubt in your mind. That is how we are going to proceed further. Okay. And in all this, the video rule will be very strictly enforced. I enforce it with CA final students also. I am not going to compromise on this rule at all. Absolutely no compromise, zero compromise on this issue. Are we clear on this? Chaliye. Now comes, and which also is the last part of my introduction. Also, one of the students has already asked it. Sir, when you are already giving us some study material, then why do we need screenshots? Is also the question of one of the students in the chat box. I'll introduce what study material I am going to give you, and I will also tell you why still class screenshots are going to be required. Okay. Along with teaching, I am also an author of CA final book. Primarily, I write CA final books. Right now, there are 4 CA final books that I have written, and they are available for May 22, November 22 CA final students. I have written a theory book which covers their full theory, which is, I told you, no, this full income tax law, not just the intermediate portion, but this portion also, this full income tax law, the full theory. That's one book. Then I have a book which contains only question answer. In CA final, the number of questions that have to be done with students in class is too much, double of intermediate students. So there is one book only for question answers, nothing else in that. Questions, answers, questions, subjective questions, full sums. There is a third book on MCQs. 1800 MCQs are there in my CA final book. The second highest in the country is about 800 to 1000, I think, in my book in terms of quality and quantity. 1800 multiple choice questions, highest ever in the country. And there is one fourth book, a handwritten book, handwritten revision kind of a book. And to me, this is the most popular book right now, because I have used some, I'll just show you that book a little. I have used some colors in that. I have used some memes in that. This is the CA final book though. Even you have this chapter in your portion, income from salary. Are you able to see this? So there are memes, there are photos. The book is in color. I have done this only to make the subject a little interesting, and the name of the book is what defines the results of my students. What is that one word which describes my students and the results that bring in CA, that they bring in CA final? So that is also the name of my book. The name of the book is Exemption in Direct Tax. That's a handwritten revision book that I have written for CA final student. There are 4 books altogether that I have written for CA final. For intermediate, what are the books that I have written and I am going to give you? I am going to give you one book which is theory with questions, because the theory is only half. No, the full theory of income tax is not applicable. Only 50% of income tax is there. So in the same book I have covered question answers also. One book will cover theory and questions both. That's one book that has been specially made for CA intermediate student, and along with that there are 2 books of CA final. Which 2 books I right now told you about them? There is this book on MCQs and there is this book, handwritten book, Exemption. Now tell me, this book I have exclusively made for CA inter students. So obviously this book is going to be given to you, all of you. These 2 books I have written for which students? For CA final, no? Is their portion same as a CA inter, or different from CA Inter in the sense that entire CA Inter is going to get covered, and plus there will be extra. CA final taxation is double of CA Inter taxation. Correct, no? So what I am going to do is, in these two books, whatever is not applicable in intermediate, I will cancel that, and whatever is applicable, I will leave. Means whatever I don't cancel is applicable. This will help you for your quick revision. It has got a lot of jokes and memes, and I'll be honest, if you don't understand the jokes and memes, you relax till the time you understand the concept. Concept understanding is more important. I hope you understand. Okay, so till the time you understand the concept, you can ignore the jokes, and the jokes are made on Bollywood movies, Hindi web series. If you understand, well and good, and if you don't understand, that is also fine. Okay, if you understand, well and good. If you don't understand, that is also fine. But the theory you will understand completely. Completely you will understand the theory. I am going to cancel the part which is not applicable in intermediate and give you the customized book which is applicable only for CA intermediate. So your MCQ work will be done. Your revision work will be done. And this is your main book which you have to refer for all your studies. This covers your theory also and your question answer also. All these books will be given to you in soft copy form. So I am going to, whichever student decides to continue from Monday onwards, I am going to provide the PDF of the books to the respective students. In this part, I will cancel the inapplicable part and I will keep only the applicable part and provide that modified copy to you. The actual copy is not applicable to you. The modified copy for the MCQ and the exemption, I will be providing the modified soft copy, and this full book is applicable to you. So this full book I will be giving. All these PDFs will be given to you. These books are ready. I just have to cancel whatever is not applicable. This book I am incorporating more questions. Whatever is the recent questions from RTP, MTP, recent exam questions, I am incorporating more questions. So about 50% of the book is ready. In the next few days, the remaining part of the book will get ready and the full book will be provided. So right now, anyways, if you observe carefully, we don't need any book. I know the full Income Tax Act by heart from the first section to the last section. I don't need to refer to any book when I am taking my class. I don't need to read a single word. I need a book only when I will solve questions with you. And by the time we reach question solving of our first chapter also, I will be providing you the soft copy. So all the books will be provided to you in PDF format. In case there are students who want this book in hard copy format, you want this printout, the theory. So all you are required to do is provide your, I'll give you the format, name, full address with pin code. Pin code is compulsory. Without that, courier cannot reach. Okay. And very important, contact number of the person receiving it. And make sure that the contact number is working. Otherwise, provide alternate number also. Provide at least 2 numbers. Pin code and contact number, very important. In case you want the hard copy, sir, see, this part, soft copy is enough. You don't need hard copies of this. But this is your main textbook. So this, in case you need the hard copy, I will make sure that we courier it to you. Whatever are the nominal printing and courier charges, I am not going to take a single additional rupee. Very nominal, whatever is the printing cost and the courier cost of making the book reach your house. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to come to take it. This will reach at the address that you provide to me, and for making it reach over there, whatever nominal cost will be incurred, only that will be taken, only the cost, not a single rupee extra. And otherwise, PDF will be provided to all the students anyways, whether you take. So when you actually enroll for the class, which you can decide after we finish today's lecture, whether you want to continue on Monday or no, at that time, you also just inform us whether you want the courier or you don't want the courier. In case you want the courier, then provide these details along with that, and we will communicate those nominal charges that are going to be applicable for sending this hard copy. So are we clear what study material I am providing? Now to answer that doubt, sir, if you are already providing us this study material, then why do we need screenshots? That was a doubt of one of the students. Okay. the study material is going to be in extreme professional format. Extreme professional. So I will be writing in the study material a full statement like tax is not applicable on this income. There is an income on which government does not want tax. That's the study material. But when I teach you in class, pay attention. This is how I will write. Difference is understood? Or if not, maybe like this. Tax is not applicable. Do you understand how this can be converted into this? Do you understand how fast you will be able to revise? Of course, the handwritten book has been made on a similar principle only. This book, Exemption. But in case there are some students who say, sir, nahi, we want whatever you are writing in class. Because when I write, when I am teaching in class, whatever I write, some students are very much comfortable with that particular thing that I have written in class. So this is optional. The screenshots are not compulsory for everyone. If you want, I will give. If you don't want, I am anyways giving you the revision book also in soft copy, the MCQ book also in soft copy, and the main theory book also, full book will be given to you in soft copy. Printouts are also optional, that you tell us that whether you want or you don't want, and your screenshots are also optional. If you don't want them, it is not compulsory. Whichever student asked me that doubt on chat, sir, that you are already giving the book, then why do we need screenshots? I think I have answered that doubt of that respected student. So, are we clear about what study material is going to be there? And I am putting enough efforts. I could have made that study material some matter. See, anybody who has already written 4 books of CA final, and where I have to just incorporate 50, I just have to copy from that book and paste it. It is Income Tax Act. I can give that book to you today itself, this full book. But all the recent exam questions, all the recent RTPs, I am trying to incorporate everything so that you don't have to go here and there for additional practice, which is why till now, as I said, 50% of this book is ready. The other 50% theory is already ready, but to incorporate more questions, I need some time. In the next 1 week to 10 days, full book is going to be ready, and PDF will be, whatever is ready, I will give you today itself. And whatever is not ready today, in the next 10 days, all the books will be provided to you. So you don't worry about the books at all. These books are going to be, we are going to cover more than 200-250 questions in class itself in the next 20-25 days, or maybe 1 month, because we have Sundays also. My class that we have every day for 5 hours, more than 200 questions we will be solving in class itself. That much is good enough to score what you desire to when we talk about our subject called taxation. So are we clear about the study material that I am going to give you? Absolutely, everyone. Chaliye. We have now reached that stage of our life where whatever I had to give you as a matter of introduction about myself, or about CA intermediate, or about what is taxation, how we are going to go about our learning, study material, everything is over. Time has now come to actually start our subject taxation, discuss this thing which will come for 300 marks in your CA course. Time has come to go to that. But before I start that, I wish to now ask any student of this class who has any doubt or difficulty about whatever we have studied till now, in case about the introduction, that because whatever I have done, it's been more than 2 hours now, I am not going to repeat anything. Whether it is the mandatory video rule, in 5 minutes I will remove you from the class. If you get a message you have been removed, you please understand why you have been removed. I don't need to give you an explanation about it. I am not going to give anything that I have told you today is not going to be repeated. So anybody who has any doubt about what I have covered or done with you till now, only I have not taught you any concept. But if you have anything that you wish to clarify, then ask right now. Otherwise, we go further to start our subject, the subject called paper number 4, taxation of CA intermediate. Anyone? Anything? This is where audio is required, if you understand what I am saying. So if you have a mic of a good quality, you can, and by the way, those who don't want to show their home background or anything, I am not interested also in the people who are behind you. I am interested only on the expressions on your face. And video on is useful for one more thing. Network is always going to be a question mark. That is not in our control. It's a technical thing. The fact that we are able to have an online class is also a big thing, and I always ensure that you don't get the feeling of online class. You always feel that I am standing in front of you in a classroom and I am taking a lecture. I make sure that I do that. But in case the network goes away, so what happens is all the students ka video freeze together. At one time everyone freezes. So the moment I see the frames frozen, I understand that there is a network issue. I stop talking. If the videos are off, what happens is I am talking. After 5 minutes, I realize that, oh my God, there was no network. Then I have to change the Wi-Fi connection. Then there is network. Then students come again. Then I ask them, what is the last thing you heard? So they tell me something 15 minutes ago, and then 15 minutes I have to repeat. For all this, video rule is going to be mandatory applicable. By the way, someday, especially it happens with CA final, I am going to be lenient with you on which days. I'll tell you. There have been cases. These times are uncertain. There are people who have got full families affected with COVID are still attending class. There are people who are sitting in a hospital attending class. There are people who are traveling and who are still, they are very sincere about. I love those students. I love. As a teacher, loving one student and not having that much love for another students is unfair. But you understand the reason behind the love. The love is not towards that individual. The love is towards the respect that the student is giving to me and my subject. Towards the sincerity of this, towards the dedication that the student is traveling somewhere, is busy with hospital work but still attending class. Because sir, what do I have to do? I just have to put my headphone and listen. One day I will not copy anything that you are writing in class. One day I can manage, but at least I will not, under any circumstance, I will not miss any lecture. Whatever be the reason, I will not miss any lecture. There are some students like that and I love those students. So in case there is any such genuine issue, you have to take permission from me and leniency will be granted only to that student. That does not mean that every morning you say, sir, I am in a hospital. Every morning, sir, I am in a hospital. Part-time nurse bhi hai kya? Sir, I am in a, every morning, sir, I am in a hospital. Every morning. Maximum 1 or 2 days in this period of 25 days, I can do that with a particular student. If you do this every day, I will not allow that. Okay. So I am not a bad person. I am going to be lenient with you wherever required, and I am going to be strict also wherever required with respect to all the points of introduction that we have done till now. Is there any doubt, difficulty? If not, then we go ahead and we are now going to actually start our core study of the subject taxation. Shall we? So my first question today for you students who are learning the subject taxation for the first time. A question like this I cannot ask a CA final student. This question is applicable only to CA intermediate students. It's not that you have not heard the word tax before. Hello? This is not the first time that you are hearing the word tax. You've heard the word before. You have. What is tax? Or before I ask you what is tax, I have a small question for anyone. Anyone willing to interact with me on audio? Tamanna, you all are sitting on a joint account. Two of you all. Sorry? Okay. Okay. This is also one of the reasons why video on is mandatory. In the past, student community is very clever. Okay. So people are staying in a hostel. One student enrolls for the class and 5 people are attending class. And I belong to the Marwadi community. I don't know whether people are aware of this community. This is a Rajasthan based, born and brought up in Mumbai, but based from Rajasthan. And we are very particular when it comes to finances. So if one will enroll and 5 will attend the class, do you understand the loss of 80% revenue, and also a reason why it is mandatory to keep the video on? I know the two students who are sitting together right now, I know the other student was sitting with the video on for some time, and then because of network issues they were sitting next to each other, so they decided to merge into one network. I am aware of that, and this is also a reason why video has to be kept on. So they are saying they are willing to interact with me on audio, though I am interacting with 2 of the students of the class who are sitting together, but the discussion is applicable to everyone. Everyone is covered in this discussion. My question today is to you people: have you paid any tax today? Tamanna and your friend, the 2 people who are sitting together, have you paid any tax today? No? I just asked tax. We don't know who knows what is direct tax, indirect tax? That's my next question. What is direct tax? What is indirect tax? We will discuss everything. First question is, have you paid any tax today? Where? How? Indirect tax is what you said, it's a consumption based tax. So if you are using that product today, that means a portion of tax is applicable to accrual basis, in accounts. So supposingly you enroll for my class, whatever class fees, GST you have paid, you've paid the tax. Okay, our fees, that way the amount that we have announced is inclusive of taxes only. You have paid that tax, but this tax you are using till the time the batch is going on. So once you buy any goods or service, any product, by paying that applicable tax on that product, till the time you are using that product, the tax is being used by you. So any student in the classroom who says that I have not paid tax today, sir, I want to interact with that student now. Anybody who has not paid any tax today? You drank water today? You ate food today? Lunch is not yet done. We have still not reached lunch time. Maybe breakfast? You drank tea or milk, anything today? You are wearing your specs, you are using your pen, your calculator, your notebook, your mobile phone or laptop in which you are watching my lecture? 1 minute. All the students with video off, are you wearing clothes today? The ones with video on I can see, of course. I am talking about the ones with video off. Are you wearing clothes? Then what makes you hide yourself? I don't know. That means you have paid tax today. We have all paid taxes. Direct or indirect, what is that direct tax? What is indirect tax? How are they different? We'll discuss everything. But we are all paying taxes every day. And if we are all paying this taxes, obviously we pay to the government. Then we should know what is the meaning of tax. What is this thing called tax? Why tax? So first question, what is tax? Second question, why tax? I told you, intermediate is about learning everything from the basic, from the ground level. You think a CA final student in his first lecture will ever be asked, what is tax? I'll tell that CA final student, Ghada in Mumbai, ya Mandan Pottan in South India. You Ghada, you idiot. You have already studied taxation for 100 marks in intermediate, and in final you expect me to ask what is the tax? You are expected to know it. Today I am asking you, because you are an intermediate student, you should learn everything from the base. What is tax? Anybody? Be participative. Please make sure that together we have to feel that it's a physical classroom offline lecture. Let none of us ever believe that we are attending an online class. And that is the reason interaction is important. Continuously talk to each other. Talk to each other means not to each other. Each other means talk to me. Continuously interact with me. That will keep you interested and attentive in class. So yes, please. Anybody? What is a tax? Come on. You said we all pay every day. Yes, Naresh. A part of income is that we pay to the government. Tax is basically revenue for government. Biggest sources of revenue for government. Of course, government has got, hello, I was mute. No, can you hear me? Tax is basically revenue to the government, one of the biggest sources of revenue for the government. Of course, government has got other sources like government levies penalty. You know, people who don't wear mask, they have to pay penalty. People who don't wear helmet, seat belt, jump a traffic signal. So do we all pay penalties for these violations to the government? Not wearing helmet is something which people in the class will know. Not wearing a seat belt or jumping a traffic signal. Even if you don't have knowledge of taxation, even if you are a non-CA background person, even if you are an uneducated, illiterate person, you know that for not complying with rules and regulations, for non-compliance of law, we have to pay penalty to the government. It's a very big source of revenue. But the primary source of revenue, money to the government, we have to make this payment to the government. The primary source of revenue to the government, source of money for the government is this thing called tax. Sir, why does government need money? Because government is collecting taxes because it needs money. So the question is, why does government need money? Why does government need money? Is like asking, why does anyone need money? I'll tell you something. For anything you want to do in life, you need passion. Anything you want to do in life, you need passion. You need paisa first. You know, paisa, cash, rupees, money. For anything you want to do in life, you first need paisa, money, then passion. Because without money, passion is of no use. You are a very, very passionate guitarist, but you need to buy a guitar. A very passionate teacher, but to take an online class, you have to buy a laptop and a mic. Or to take a classroom, you have to take a classroom on rent for offline physical lectures. For anything you want to do in life, you first need paisa, then need passion. And now why does government need money? Sir, why? Sir, listen. There are roads. Even if there are potholes, but there are roads. Thank God there are roads. There's railway. There are public parks. You all are all above 18. No, any student who is under the age of 18 years in this class? Junaid, you are above 18?
Yes, sir.
Any student under 18 here? Possibly because you have just given foundation, you are yet to touch 18. Anyone? I think if you are above 18, then you must be vaccinated. And now the government has started vaccines for 15 to 18 age group also. We are on 15th of January 2022 today. Most of you all must have taken the paid vaccine or the free vaccine. Free vaccine. When something is available for free, then why pay for it? Of course. If you don't want to go and stand in a queue, you want to go to a private hospital where you want to be secluded, you don't want a very big crowd, and you are rich, you can afford, you can take the paid vaccine. You have that option. But when something is available for free, I definitely, so I am a CA, then I am also from the Marwadi community. I am definitely not going to pay for something which is available for free. Yes or no? Government has given this vaccine to you now. I know you may love the government, hate the government. It is a democracy. You have all the rights in a democracy to criticize the Prime Minister and the policies if you don't like him, and appreciate if he does something good. You have all the right to. We are living in a democratic country. You have the right to do that. Please mute yourself, Sri Lakshmi. You have all the right on the planet to like or dislike the government. But the vaccine was given for free. Acha, some people are also saying that there is some corruption Here also that government has taken public money in the name of vaccine, paid it to their friends, and the vaccine companies are just filling water in the injection and giving. It is only mental satisfaction that I'm vaccinated. Thank God. Thank God. And no one has checked whether the syringe that was inserted actually had water or glucose water or sugar water, or it was actually a medicine. We don't know. We don't know. Okay. Let us trust our government for a microsecond. I know we cannot trust beyond that, and maybe people in Kerala too don't trust even for that much time. We all know that. But for a moment, if we decide to trust the government, the vaccine was free. Achha, by the way, you did not pay, at least that much you agree? We live in a country where people want free vaccines. Discount on medicine, we want discount on medicine. No? That is the reason these companies like PharmEasy, NetMed, these online medicine companies have become famous, because they give medicines at 15 to 20% discount on MRP, do they? So we want that to avail that discount. Are we all technologically little educated that we can book things on our app in our mobile phone? Ola app, Uber app, you know how to use these applications, no? Zomato, Swiggy, this you definitely will be knowing, no? Zomato, Swiggy, yes? So we want free vaccine, we want discount medicine, and in the first lockdown when everything was closed, do we know that people paid a premium for getting alcohol? You know that? Double, triple rate people paid? You don't know? You don't know? Check your cupboard, the bill is still lying over there. Check your cupboard. You'll find the bill. Go open your cupboard, check, you'll get the bill. We live in a country where people want to pay a premium for alcohol, want discount on medicines and free vaccines. And one thing is for sure, the current present Omicron variant has been mild, the primary reason that people have been vaccinated. I'll tell you what happened last 1 week to 15 days. I'm talking about Mumbai, from after the new year, from 1st to today, the 15th of January. 90%, over 90% of Mumbai was coughing. Cough, cold, fever, cough, cold, fever, cough. Full household, cough, cold, fever, cough, cold, fever. Not joking, Not joking. Okay. My wife had cough, she got fever. We are all fully vaccinated. So I took her to my family doctor. My brother was insisting, let's do RT-PCR, let's do RT-PCR. You all understand the things that I'm talking about. What is RT-PCR? What is vaccination? Otherwise, well, sir, what you are saying, we are not understanding anything, so things will be difficult. So my brother was insisting, let's do an RT-PCR. I said, let's ask our family doctor what he says. We went to him. I asked him that, shall we do a test, COVID test? I first brought that self-test kit, that rapid antigen kit which is available in medical stores. You can bring that kit home, do self-testing and find out whether it is positive or negative. But that gave negative. So we were still not sure. So I asked the family doctor, shall we do a test? He said, do one thing, take RT-PCR swab stick. Swab stick, you know, no? That is inserted to take the sample. Rotate it in the air. And then send it to the laboratory. The sample will be positive. No need to insert it in the nose. It is an airborne virus. Everybody is already affected. Those who are vaccinated are showing these mild symptoms, and there is recovery in about 2 or 3 days. And those who are unvaccinated are the people who are needing oxygen and getting hospitalized. And these are statistics of Mumbai city. For now, you can take it as an example also. These are statistics of Mumbai city. 95% of the people hospitalized in the present wave are unvaccinated. They have not taken even 1 dose of the vaccine. That's the truth. Okay. And if you follow the news across the world, do you know that European countries have already made an announcement that we declare the pandemic as over, and the mask and quarantine culture will be declared as over now? Consider this as normal flu like cough, cold, fever, and live with it like you have been living with malaria, typhoid, dengue, jaundice. Like all this happens at any point. COVID is also a similar flu, it will be with us, it will happen, it will come, and we will recover in 2 days. That's it. You know, so European countries have made this announcement if you are keeping a track of international news, and if not, then I am telling you. Okay. So one thing we all have to give, I don't think we should give credit to one individual about it. So we were all excited about getting vaccinated. So the moment we got our vaccine certificate, this immaturity even I did. Screenshot that certificate and put it on the Insta story, then WhatsApp story, and all. I did it. I'm not asking you who. I did it. My vaccine certificate, I was so excited to get, mainly because now I am fully vaccinated. I can travel wherever I want. I am someone who travels 4 months in a year, and I have been locked in my house for 2 years. That's so unfair. I want to go out. So screenshot. But when I took that screenshot, I did a blackout on the photograph of that one individual on my vaccine certificate. If it was a doctor or a scientist or a research professional, I wouldn't have done that. A politician's photograph on a vaccine certificate is not something that you know what Kerala High Court but said about this? When somebody filed a petition in Kerala High Court against this, that why is the Prime Minister's photograph put on the vaccine certificate? The Kerala High Court reprimanded the petitioner and said that you should feel proud of your Prime Minister. So these are political discussions. There is no end to it. One thing we have to all agree, that the vaccine has played a big role in somewhere reducing the impact. They never claimed 100% efficiency. No vaccine manufacturer said that after taking you will not get corona. You will get it, but the impact will be mild and you will be able to recover fast. That is what they claimed, and that is what we have seen also. But you need money, no? For vaccine you need money. So many government COVID care centers which are running free of cost. You need money. And good facilities are being provided. Good facilities. You need money for that. Do you or do you not? Do you know that government hospitals round the year provide free treatment throughout the year? Whether you want to avail or you don't, you are a very rich person and you want to go to a private hospital, that's a matter of choice. But government hospitals do provide free treatment for any kind of disease. Do you know that? Do you know that up to 9th standard you can get free education? In a government school, you don't need to pay anything. Now again, if you are rich, you want to go to a private school, international board, that's your choice. If you cannot afford health and education, government provides it free of cost. It may not be world-class quality, but considering the population of our country, we cannot provide also world-class quality. And for all these facilities, roads, railways, bridges, free health, free education to a certain extent till 9th standard, as I told you, up to the age of 14. For all these facilities which are being provided by the government, do you understand that one line which I will say again? For anything that you want to do in life, you need passion. But before passion, what do you need? Money. Paisa. Money. Cash. Whatever name you give in whichever part of the country, you need it. And government also needs it. And thus the government is going to levy tax. Tax is collection by the government with respect to the facilities that the government is providing to you. Or can I summarize by saying tax is nothing but cost of living in a society. What is taxation? What is taxation? The cost of living in a society. You want all the facilities which are available by the government freely for the public, whether public gardens, public playgrounds, all these public transport, all these facilities. For all this, you need to pay something as a citizen of the country. You have to contribute towards nation building, and that is tax, that is revenue to the government. The day you are born, you start paying taxes. Taxes are paid till the time you die. You have to pay tax from birth to death. When you are born, at that time, if you have purchased hospital equipments or anything which is a part of the surgical procedure, if at all it is required in course of hospitalization, there are things that you will purchase, there will be taxes on those bills. You go for education, you have to pay something called GST. You study, you eat food, you have to pay taxes. You go to a restaurant with your family, you have to pay taxes. You go to cinema hall with your family, you have to pay taxes. You earn income, you have to pay tax on the income that you earn. You have accumulated wealth, you have to pay tax on the wealth that you have generated. If you have any foreign asset that you have hidden, you have to pay tax under an act called Black Money Act on that foreign asset that you have hidden. If you import goods from another country, you have to pay a tax called custom duty. If you want to register a property in your name, you have to pay a tax called stamp duty. If you want to register a rent agreement, buying a property and taking on rent are two different things, no? For registering a property, you need to pay stamp duty. For rental agreements also, you have to pay that tax called stamp duty. If you get a gift from someone, you have to pay tax on the gift received. If you sell any of your assets, like your house, supposingly you want to shift, you sell your house for shifting. For any reason, you sell any of your assets, you have to pay tax on the profit. You know, profit on sale of asset, sale minus cost, simple formula profit, you have to pay tax on that. You do business and you generate money in course of business, you have to pay tax. You provide service, you have to pay tax. You don't want to take risk, you don't have entrepreneur skills, then you decide to take up a job, employment, you get salary, you have to pay tax. You have to pay tax till your last breath. And all the money that the government is generating through these taxes are going to be used for the purposes that I gave you. I gave you some examples. Example is making roads, railways, hospitals, schools. A very, very recent common, something that I discussed with you for a very long time. These are the things for which government has to spend money, and for this the government is collecting money from everyone. That is called tax. Have we understood roughly what is the meaning of this thing called tax? Let me be very clear. You will never get a question in exam, define taxation. Hello? Such question you will never get, define taxation. But you still should know what is tax. If tomorrow you become a CA, you got deep knowledge about all the provisions of income tax. You know everything about GST in detail. You've taken your subject very seriously, and your client is coming and asking you, sir, but what is tax? Why do we have to pay tax? Why can't Prime Minister pay for himself, Chief Minister pay for himself, and I pay for myself? Why do I have to pay to the government? Then you have to give an answer. And as a CA, you are expected to have answers to all questions. One thing that you will always face in life, you are a CA, you should know it. You are a CA, you should know it. And such idiot, such stupid, such pottan, mandan, such durantam relatives we have. I was once traveling with my relatives in an outstation train. You know, outstation train, they have main seats and side seats, side upper, side lower. So that side lower seat you have to bring down for sleeping purposes. So there was a new stopper. They had changed that system, Indian Railways, recently, and I had not traveled by train for a very long time. So I did not understand how to do it. That latch has to be put sideways, not upwards. I did not understand. My uncle is coming and telling me, hey, you are a CA, you don't know this much also. I said, uncle, how to use a stopper in a train seat is not a part of CA syllabus, uncle. It was not taught to us in CA. anything you do in life, people will say you are a CA. Anything, any mistake you make in life, no, we are all human beings, we can all make mistakes. Hey, you are a CA. For everything you will be facing this. Tell me, are you following? And thus you need to have answers to all questions. Have we understood what is a tax? There may not be a question on this in exam. There may not be a question what is direct tax, what is indirect tax, but we will be discussing everything. All of that we will be discussing. Okay. So first thing, have we understood what is tax? All of us? Alright. Our next target is now to go and understand what is direct tax, what is indirect tax. Then we come to direct tax. What is our portion? What do we have to study? There is only one law which is applicable. There is only one direct tax law, Income Tax Act 1961, that we have to study. That one law is also so huge that half is in inter, and in final it is not other half, it is full. This half and new half. Hello? So, how is Income Tax Act placed? What are the sections? What are the chapters that we are going to cover from income tax, which are a part of intermediate? All that is there. But now, the distinction between direct and indirect onwards, we will be continuing after the break. Today, we have, honestly speaking, not done much, so I think, and it's not very stressful. Today's lecture is only an introduction kind of a lecture. Of course, we are going to main income tax study very soon after the break. I think 20 minutes will be enough for whatever you want to eat or anything. Okay, so we will take a break of 20 minutes. Wait.